it's O'Neill from Sew the Distance. Welcome back to day 3 of Christmas quilting in July. So this month we're getting ready for the holidays, and that includes some projects, including today. Today's a big day because we start our sew along. Last year we made this quilt, and this year, drum roll please, we're going to be doing the potato chip block. So here's one block. Here's the other. This is probably my most highly requested tutorial, so I figured it's time to just do it. It's a super easy project. It uses scraps, so it's checking like all the boxes. Also, the best part about this is this block doesn't have any intersecting seams that you have to worry about nesting or matching or anything like that, so it's super beginner friendly. This block, or at least the components of this block, are nothing new. This is something that's been around forever. I have a few antique quilts that have the bricks, they're called bricks, in it, and just the way you lay them out, it just can really have some stunning effects. I'm calling this crunch time, but this is just the color layout and stuff. Like I said, you can go see other videos. Lots of people have tutorials on this block. If you don't like my style, that's fine too. All right, so to get started, you're going to need, of course, a lot of scraps. Now you can make this with jelly rolls. I have all of the numbers somewhere. I'll put it on the blog so you can see exactly how many pieces you get from a jelly roll. The issue with the jelly roll is one of the things that makes this layout so effective is that you have the lights and the darks together. Actually, let me show you. Let me show you in the overhead camera. So for the quilt we're making, we have one block that has the green in the center, the white or off-white, depending on what rules you want to set up for that, and then the red. And then the other block along with this is red, beiges, and whites, and then greens. So when you put them together, and you put them together like this, you get this wonderful effect, and you can see there are no intersecting seams, so you don't have to really worry about that at all. If you put them together like this, you would, because you'd have these two. I just noticed that's hanging over there a little bit. I have to square that one up. But you can see that you would in this case. But if you do it like this, you don't. For this tutorial, you'll be making 10 of this block in this configuration and 10 of this. Now you can do any colors you want. I like to have a rule or several rules when it comes to any type of scrap quilt because it helps my brain. So you can see here my rule is this beige or white with the red in the middle and the green, and then the opposite block is the opposite of colors, but I still have that consistency of the beiges and whites in this frame. You can make it any colors you want. You can make them all the same, but I do like having a contrast somewhere. There's so many options with this block, however, because just playing with the color layout changes the entire look of the block. All right, let's talk about supplies that you need. On the screen now, you'll see a list of all the supplies. Make sure you pause. You can take a screenshot or jot it down. Let's talk about the fabrics. So I already cut mine, and you can see I have 3 trays here. I have my whites, my greens, and my reds. 120 of each. That's going to give you 20 blocks, which is very doable. Yesterday we talked about time management. This is a wonderful, easy project because we can do this over time. You can make a block a day, and by the end of the month you'll have a quilt top put together if you want to. I like cutting everything ahead of time just because it gives me, I don't know, it makes it so much easier to just go to my machine when I want to make a block or two. Now, of course, with the potato chip block, you can make it all different sizes. For this one, these bricks are each 2.5 by 4.5 inch square. And there is a ruler I use to cut these down. Let me show you. So the ruler is by Creative Grids, and I really like this for this project. So something you can do, I have a scrap of fabric here, is you can just line this up. Try to pay attention that you're on grain, that you're not wonky like that. It's going to make everything lay nicely. That's a tricky part with working with scraps. But you could just take a small mat and cut around it, keeping your fingers out of the way, of course. Like that. And just turning your small mat or rotating mat, that's fine too. And cutting your block. However, if you don't have that, you can use a regular ruler. So we're doing 2.5 by 4.5. Did I say that? I hope I said that. That's the size of our bricks. So you can line this up, straighten up an edge. I'm going to do that here. And then we can move this over to 2.5. I'll turn it around. I know everybody hates it when I cut with my other hand. It messes them up. I get that. I'm going to line this line up. I'm not worried about these two lines because I don't know if they're square. They might be, but I'm not sure. So I have my 2.5 inch wide. So I'm lining up on the lines you can see here. I don't like lining up on the heavy lines because I think it gives you an inaccurate cut. And even these smaller lines have some width to them, so that's something you want to keep in mind. So I'm going to just get this edge nice and neat. I'm going to turn this around and measure over 4.5 inches. And I'm going to line up, and we'll go up here. See, getting it on a line is tough sometimes. There, you can see, so I lined it up on this, on this. I also lined it up on my 4.5 inch mark. Gotta make sure it's nice and straight. And cut. And that gives me a 4.5 by 2.5 or 2.5 by 4.5 inch brick. All right, let's talk about the layout of this. So I set these up on my design boards, and you can see the 2 blocks. And each block has 16 of these bricks. We have the 2 in the middle and around the outside and then around the outside. It doesn't look like it's right because of the seam allowances. So if you're a new sewist, a new quilter, you might be really confused by this. But once we do the seam allowances in there after we sew it, it'll all come together perfectly. So let's see, we'll start with this one. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention, fabrics. So as you're picking scrappy fabrics, let me see if I can find one that I probably won't use. This one might be a little too busy. This one, I don't know if it will look right or not, but you want to pay attention to it and kind of plan that you're going to have some that you maybe don't like in the project. So maybe cut some extras. Oh, there's one here. This is more brown than green. It might work. It probably will work, but these should be used sparingly because you really want that effect of the green and the red or whatever colors you're going to be using for yours. So our first step is sewing these 2 together. I'm going to move all these other pieces. I'm not sure if they'll be in the right placement when we come back, but we'll see. Maybe they will be. I'm not stressing about it. I hope you aren't either. So our first 2 pieces are these center pieces. So we're going to put these right sides together, line them up. We're going to sew a 1/4 inch down the long side, and I'll meet you back here. All right, so this is sewn, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to set my seams. Very important, I think. I might be the only person that still does this, but I think it's very important. And then I'm just going to press it to one side. This should measure 4.5 inches by 4.5 inch square. And then I do like to open the seams on some of these because it just lays flatter. So I'm going to open this seam and press it. Here it is. That's our center. And what's nice about this is if you get behind, you don't want to do a block a day, you can run all your centers through and chain piece them, come together really fast. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to take our time. This piece, this next piece should match the size of this. And it does. Okay, so I'm going to just sew these 2 sides on here. I'm going to do this one and this one next. So you know that it's these that go next because you wouldn't want to keep going this way. But this is going to give you no problems with the matching of the seams. So I'm going to sew these on and meet you back here. Okay, they're sewn on, set those seams, and for this one I do just press out. I don't open them. Just like that. So our next step is to do our top and bottom. I'm going to cut some, I have some threads I want to cut. Keep it neat, and you'll be thanking yourself later. All right, so we have this one. Actually, I think it was here. Not that it matters, but, and this one, and this one, and this one. Now, before we sew this to the block, we have to sew these 2 units together. So I'm going to do right sides together here, right sides together here, and sew 1/4 inch down here. Okay, these are done. You press those seams, set those seams. That one got a little wonky. That's okay. There we go. And again, I like to press these open. All right, they're going to go like this. These should measure the exact same as this. If not, you might want to check your seam allowance. All right, so we're just going to sew this to this and this to this, just like that. I'll meet you back here for the next step. Set those seams and press out. Now you could stop here. This is an adorable block. You could have a lot of fun with that, but we're gonna keep going and adding more borders. So next up is our red and our final borders. And like I said, I don't remember the order of these, and I'm not gonna go back to the footage to look. But we do know that these go here and here, and that's our next step. So we know that we need to do these side seams again, just like we did these, and then we put the top seams on. So we're gonna sew these bricks together like this, 1/4 inch on the ends, and then we'll add the final top and bottom. Set the seams. Be a broken record. And then again, I like to open these. And you don't have to do this step. You really don't. It's just a preference of mine. I like how flat it gets for this, and I'm slowly going to that space where I'm opening my seams more and more. I never thought I'd be there, but I am. I think it's that Tula, the 100 modern blocks that have kind of converted me a little bit. I'm not sure. So there we go. And here we're gonna sew those on, and you know, I'll be right back. Set the seams and press. And this is what we have so far. So we're gonna add that final border. Now, a few things. If your 1/4 inch isn't exactly right, it's okay. You just might have to trim some of these after you sew them on, but it'll be okay. It really will with this Scrappy quilt. Just do your best to get that 1/4 inch. It's a great way to practice because you know these pieces then will be the right size. And if they're a little off, you can kind of adjust then. But that's just my little tidbit on this. I do have a thread here. Let's get that out of there. Keep it nice and neat as much as possible. Less trimming later. So now we're just going to put these on, and you can be as particular about this part as you want. One thing that kind of bugs me is I wouldn't put like two busy pieces next to each other, but it doesn't matter. Actually, I'm going to be a little fussy about it here because I think I like him in the middle. And then I'm going to do these like that. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to sew these end to end on both of them, and you know what I'm going to say. Meet you back here. Again, set those seams. I'll speed this up. And I think I got these mixed up on where they were supposed to be, so all that fussing over the layout didn't matter. For some reason, things get mixed up between here and the sewing machine. Go figure. All right, I'm going to open these seams as well. All right, there they are. And they go on the top, and they should measure right, and they do. Yay! And this one goes on the bottom, just like that. I don't love these two together like that with the darkers, but you know what? I'm not gonna change it. Set those seams and press. And yes, I shouldn't be doing this when I press. It's such a bad habit, but I do it. I'll try to do it the right way. So we can finger press this over and then just press. Cool police might come after me. So that's what you're supposed to do. But I like to get in there. And especially with scraps, you can get things off grain, and it probably is best practices. But look how pretty. Then it's the same process, of course, with the green one. You just do the exact same thing. Center, outside, keep going, just keep building it. When it's finished and put into a quilt, it will be 12 inches because of the 1/4 inch seam allowance. I hope you enjoyed this. This is such a fun block. I think it's gonna come together beautifully. Try out some different colors. If you are on my mailing list already, you still have to sign up for the Christmas in July one. That's the rules. I don't make the rules. This is just the law. If I can't solicit to you or send out anything like that without approval. So you do have to sign up for the other one. And then, of course, after Christmas in July, you don't have to worry. I'm not going to keep sending you stuff, I promise, until next year when you have to re-sign up. I know, it's crazy, right? But if you are on it, or once you do get it, you'll get this pattern, the block pattern. And then you'll also, in your first newsletter that I send out, I'm going to send out a coloring sheet too for this, so it can help you with the layouts and stuff like that if you want. But you can also use graph paper if you don't want to join my newsletter. That's perfectly fine too. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you take some time to sew, and I will see you tomorrow for day 4 and for America's birthday, right? If you're in the United States, it's our 250th birthday. Exciting stuff. I'll see you then. Bye.